You think he'll dig it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Bill Paxton.
Okay.
And that's not one.
While I was doing that, I'll dump some stupid trivia on you right now. There actually was during a showing of Twister
Where do you start?
at the exact same moment where they're at the drive-in.
Are you kidding?
And
me?
they're watching the tornado hits right in the middle of the movie. They were playing Twister on the drive-in, and at the exact same time as the tornado hits in the movie, they're hit at the drive-in.
Those are some awesome effects, man.
Oh my god!
THX sucks.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. You almost done there, Al? No.
Use camera.
Well, we can talk about it at the same time where you're teching. What are we going to talk about Ghostbusters?
Yeah, let us dispel
someone,
your
is it a horror
stupid
movie?
myth that it's not a horror movie.
Well,
There
it
we go.
isn't-
Mr. One-Dimensional Al
it
over
isn't a
here.
horror
His
movie.
shit opinion.
I'll
I'll tell you what, I watched it too, and at moments
scared?
I looked at Shannon and I was like, "There's no fucking way this isn't a horror movie." Like, this would scare the shit out of me. How did I watch it when I was a child?
How did you not watch it when you were a child?
The library scene with the card catalog? Are you kidding me?
Really?
What?
That was funny? That wasn't
No,
funny?
it wasn't funny.
Oh
It was
my
terrifying.
gosh. That was not.
Well, I mean, there's element. I don't know. I mean, I would say that you have to at least include her in the genre just because of the subject material and what's predicated upon.
Yeah, no.
I'm not even
Doesn't
putting my
believe
toe.
he doesn't believe in classic rock. There's just rock.
Well,
classic.
no, there's classic rock, but actually, classic rock is whenever I was.
Well, you didn't
back
make
into
classic
teenage-
rock. You just made rock.
But see, to me, classic rock was in the '70s. Now, what's classic rock to you?
There's no pop punk. There's just punk. There's no.
Right.
It's either pop music or punk music.
For
You
me,
can't
what
have horror comedy.
what is classic rock?
But see, the thing is here's Ghostbusters.
No,
Yeah,
we're talking
here's
about classic rock.
IMDb.
Yeah, and it says it's action, comedy, fantasy. Nothing about horror.
What part of fantasy can't be horror? Have you never seen a horror fantasy movie?
But yeah,
I was
it
like,
has the word horror in it.
what?
It's like
well,
the-
they get 3 categories there. Sure, it's fantasy, but what kind of horror? Like, I'm trying to think of like
The type
examples.
of fantasy
Yeah.
that it is
It's
like
not a
horror
Yeah,
fantasy.
it's paranormal.
To
Right.
me, it is paranormal. Yes,
Sure.
absolutely.
How can you not say it's a horror? Well, you can't. You won't.
No, I won't. Just like I won't say a hot dog isn't a sandwich.
Oh God!
Did you say that out loud?
It isn't a
He
sandwich.
brought it back. Oh God! If we go to Texas Hot Dogs right now, under their board where it says sandwiches,
Yeah.
where do you think hot dogs are?
Well, it'd be with a
Oh.
bun because they go and open the bag up.
It's
hot
in the
dog
category
bun.
that says sandwiches.
Where's Dane Lamont?
Yeah, there you
He
go.
would
There
put
you
that
go.
to rest.
Call Dane
Guaranteed.
right now.
He would put that to rest.
Well, there's
But-
only one person watching right
And he
now.
probably
Well,
Our
has an
listeners will
and he probably
care.
has an opinion on Ghostbusters too.
He
Well,
probably
everybody
does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
2021. I think it's June of 2021. It's coming out.
Cool discussion now. I'd rather talk about my failed spinal cord stimulator.
I think you should.
That made me
now, is
less
that a horror?
angry.
That's a horror.
That's a horror.
Yeah, that's horror.
Yeah.
I have pictures of that.
You can tell us
See,
about
now,
it if you
that's-
want.
Yeah, if you want.
It's bad. It's bad.
Mm.
Well, here's what the doctor told me whenever he was prepping me for it. He was like, I learned this 40 years ago, Johns Hopkins, the guy that taught me how to do this. Before I did my first procedure, he told me.
John Hopkins, like you're
Mr.
thinking, like
John
okay,
himself,
yeah.
Mr. Hopkins said the guy that the doctor that trained me said it's like shoving a wet noodle up a monkey's ass. That's what you want to hear.
That's what he
That's-
said
That's
to
what he
you.
said. Yeah.
That's professional speaking. right
Wow. I want to go there.
That is what he
What did he
said
charge for
to
that?
you.
Yeah, that's what he said to me before he just stuck a wire into my spinal cord, saying it's like shoving a wet noodle up a monkey's ass.
now. Awesome.
Yep. Needless to say, it failed, and here we are.
Wow. Now, did he actually say monkey's ass because you have a hairy ass?
Maybe he did.
Maybe it reminded him.
No.
I mean, I've seen it. It's
Oh.
cute.
Oh.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
got a nice size.
Yeah. But that was after the sweaty hockey.
It's got a nice contour.
I've seen this man in a locker room naked, still screaming passionately about it. He wanted to fight a dude that was bigger than me. And he's in the we're pulling him out of the locker room. He's like, I'll kill you, you motherfucker. And I'm like, you're not big enough to kill anybody, dude. Get in the room.
You don't run my goalie.
Apparently, that's
Hey,
still
that's true. That
got a
is
little
true.
sting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We were a feisty bunch.
Back in the day, yeah.
Still am. Ghostbusters not a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie.
I don't think it's a horror movie either. So
Ooh.
I'm just
I
like,
don't think it's a
Can
good
we call it a
movie either.
horror comedy? Is
I
that
want to. I would like
It's
to.
fantasy.
Al won't let you do it.
No, I see. In my world, it is. You can do whatever you want.
He won't let you do it.
You can fly your little flag. It's okay.
It's not a little flag. It's a big correct
What's-
flag.
can I ask
your
you-
little flag? Your little shit flag.
little big correct flag.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why are you opposed to calling it a horror comedy?
It's not scary.
It's not scary.
Okay.
It's not scary to an adult man.
It
So
wasn't scary to
I
me
saw
as
it
a
back
kid
in
either.
yeah, 84.
See, it scared me as a kid.
I saw it back in 84.
Sure, scared me. Yeah.
It wasn't scary when it was first released, and I saw
Well,
it.
when it was first released, you still had a beard.
I didn't have any beard.
I did.
I was driving my dad.
I was too.
What was it? A Dodge
But I'm telling you, you
V100,
weren't a kid.
1973.
Ernest Scared Stupid scared the shit out of me. That was,
I
I would
was
also
19
consider
years
that a
old
horror
when I
movie.
saw that.
It was supposed. It's an Ernest movie. It's still a horror movie.
well,
It's
it's
an Ernest movie?
and that's why it's a horror movie because it's an
Ernest
Ernest
B.
movie.
But it's still
Worrell.
a comedy horror.
Yeah. So horror, it cannot be horror for you is not just about content.
Horror is.
It's about you have to be scared. Because honestly, if that's the case,
Well, no,
That
that's
Like,
not the case.
half the I like 3/4 of the horror movies I've ever seen.
That's not the case because what was the one that you said we all had to watch? We were going to review
Midsommar.
Midsommar. That I consider to be somewhat of a horror movie, but also that was not scary. And I'd watch that one.
But you would still call it a horror
I
movie.
do. I would add yes.
what about Army of Darkness?
I never saw that one.
That's a perfect example right there. Or any of the Evil Dead.
Evil
really.
Dead, yeah, the first Evil Dead. Even.
See, I don't like horror movies.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's why. Because if they're scary, I don't like them.
Yeah,
There's
this is
the-
why I don't review
I
bacon.
say, so here's the thing. Horror movies for Al are a category of things he doesn't like.
Yes.
You liked Ghostbusters, so
Because it's a comedy,
therefore
it can't be a horror.
it can't be a horror.
Ah, there you go.
There we go. We scratched the surface.
Well, actually, this happened because I was supposed to meet friends up at the bar and drive-in whenever I was 17, and they didn't show up. And I watched Poltergeist live at the drive-in by myself, and went home when my parents went out and left me a note said they'd be home later.
See, Poltergeist never scared me, so that's
Yeah.
definitely not a horror.
And,
movie.
and as I went into my bedroom, there was my little 7-inch black and white Zenith that only gets 3 channels, and most of them are snow.
Yeah.
And I just stared at it and stared at it and stared at it, and I took it and unplugged it, and I almost threw it down the steps, but I did carry it down the steps. And I was just sat in the bedroom and waited for my parents to come home.
I had a weird
that movie scared me.
I had a Poltergeist redo a while ago. My daughter is really into a lot of horror movies.
Which
and-
is awesome.
Yeah. And so we have watched a ton of horror movies together and classics from my day. Oh my God, you haven't seen, American Werewolf in London. We have to watch this movie right now.
Mhm.
Well, one day it dawned upon us that, or it dawned upon me that I don't think she had ever seen Poltergeist.
Mm.
And when Poltergeist was released, I was like 8 or 9. So obviously it had a different impact on me when I was like 8 or 9. Found it, I think it was on Netflix or whatever, remarkably, actually found it. I was like, you sit down, we're making popcorn and we're watching this movie. Okay, whatever. So we started watching it. And as an adult, I have to say that movie is just horrible. Like, I could not believe how
Yes.
bad it was, to take off my 8, 9-year-old lenses and actually watch this movie for the first time. I was just like, you don't have to watch this. This movie is shit.
That happens to so many movies from back then.
Yeah.
There was one, yeah, damn it, I can't remember what it is. Flash Gordon. Queen did the soundtrack. It was
Yeah.
awesome, right?
Yeah.
I once again, something I
Yeah.
grew up with. I saw it was on, I don't remember, we got free HBO or whatever. It was on something. It's like, oh, yes. I turned it
Yeah.
on watching it. It's like,
Yeah. Right. And you're like,
This is
Hawkman's
so-
really not that cool
this is,
anymore.
no, this isn't- oh my God, this is bad. But it was.
But that scene
yeah,
where they
back
put
in
their
the day.
hand in the thing and the weirds, that's still a good scene.
There's
Now
a lot that's still
here's
left,
a
though.
question.
Yeah.
What
Not
constitutes a horror film, though? If
I-
you take the gore out of it,
Gore is
Is
not,
gore
there-
is not a prerequisite.
No, I
for
know
horror.
it's not,
Yeah.
but
That's
like,
Midsommar.
okay,
I
but
would say a feeling of dread,
Yeah.
okay.
which is why I consider Midsommar a horror movie because
Okay.
there's an.
I still haven't
overwhelming
seen it
feeling
yet,
of
so
dread.
I don't know.
Really?
No,
Jen and I watched.
it's on my Voodoo account. I still
We've
haven't
watched
seen
it
it.
again since then.
Mhm.
It's Shannon's Animal Crossing island is named Atastupa.
Atastupa.
Yeah.
It's the only jump scare in the whole movie.
Nice.
Scare. Dude.
So there, I would say
Of course, scary
content
jokes.
is definitely king when it comes to horror movies.
Yeah.
It
I
has
think
scary.
subject material is a big.
Subject
big part
material,
of it.
yeah,
Can't be written by comedy people.
sure it can.
Yeah, I mean, like, look
Have
at.
you ever seen Get Out?
No.
Have you ever heard of Key and Peele, the comedy duo? Oh,
What about?
very famous comedy duo?
No, I
One
don't
of the
get
most
to
popular
watch
horror
Nah,
movies.
he
of
was
the
too
last
old for that.
century. Yeah.
That was our childhood.
What about like Oh my God! What the hell's the matter with me? Blank.
Blank Man,
You have red on you.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the
Ah,
Dead.
yes. Now,
See,
I
I don't know,
consider
I
that
don't-
to be a comedy.
I
I mean,
consider
it
it a horror
has its.
comedy
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I could go that. Yes.
because it's zombies and not
Yes.
ghosts. It's not a horror comedy.
No, because it's a little bit scary.
It's
in the
more
beginning.
graphic.
In the beginning, but by the end, you're just like the same as Zombieland, double tap. I mean, just shoot them. Okay, whatever, kill them however you want.
What about Zombieland?
If you want to make it a horror from the beginning? Because it's, I wouldn't now that
I
I've
think
seen too many.
I think that Shaun of the Dead is more of a Zomcom rom.
Zomrom.
Yeah, and I think that Zom romcom, and I think that
Zom-rom-com.
perhaps Zombieland is more of a
Zom buddy cop.
It's a well, it does have Bill Murray. I would say that
the first one.
it's more of a rom zomcom. I think order of importance of what they're stretching.
We're doing order of operations.
Order
now.
of operations
Oh
now.
boy. this
The
is a
thing
whole
is,
can of
though,
worms.
that because of the Zom element, I would have to say that they're both firmly affixed into partially being in the horror category.
Yes, but it's just, I don't know. To me, it was just in the beginning. Once, like, it doesn't take too long to get zombie-tized, numb to something.
Yeah.
So those movies, yeah, they sort of tend to repeat themselves, and you're going off the script, which sort of makes them towards the comedy.
Okay.
But Ghostbusters, yeah, that
No.
was a
But
comedy.
Ghostbusters?
Oh,
Fuck
comedy.
you.
I'll
That
agree with
boomerang
you on
came
every
back.
single point that relates to everything about Ghostbusters, except for the fact that it's a horror movie.
I liked it. It wasn't a horror movie.
See,
I like
I don't-
Did you like Midsommar?
I will watch it again. Yes,
Okay.
but I do consider that to be a horror.
It's getting
And-
up there for me.
and-
It's getting so much closer with Hereditary than I thought it would.
I liked it. I actually liked it a little
Yeah.
more from the beginning.
I have seen them both the same amount of times now.
Yeah.
When I first made the statement that I prefer Hereditary, which I still believe that I do, I had seen Hereditary 4 times, and I think
Right.
I'm up to 4 times now
Yeah.
with Midsommar.
Okay.
There's some really great foreshadowing that I didn't
That's-
catch until rewatching it.
See, that's what I wanted to ask. Okay, so we know what sets her to go to the Midsommar, because her.
Keep in mind,
Yeah.
Jay has
Yeah,
not
I know.
seen
That's
this
why I'm
movie.
trying to be as vague as I can.
Say no more. Yep.
Okay, so the thing is when I first saw it, I accepted that happened, and then she had nothing to do, and then she wanted to go.
You didn't believe that it was premeditated.
Now I do. After
Yeah.
got to the end and let it sit for a couple days, I do think it was premeditated.
I do too.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure of the question. I
that-
think you were a little
Yeah,
too
even-
vague.
Even
The
though she,
catalyst at the beginning,
Yes.
the
Yes.
reason why
Yes.
she becomes so despondent.
Yes.
that was actually created because of one of the characters that is in the group.
Yes.
Yes,
It
it wasn't all her doing. She's the one that committed it, but she's not the one that thought of it.
I would agree with that 100%.
I didn't get that until the end.
Yes.
I like swords.
Me too.
I like turtles.
Twelve.
My wife likes Animal Crossing. She got $1 million catching fish, $1 million coin
Bells.
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 Million bells.
Talk about the turnip exchange. Oh, don't get me
Well, it was
started.
106. 106. She looked at on Sunday. Yeah, it's just like whatever. She's over there going, I don't believe this. 106. Tell me about it.
Well, I think that let's get out of that.
I guess that's a good episode.
Let's wrap as we do every episode except for that one time which I forgot.
I'm glad you remembered that.
Yeah, let's do the everyone's favorite segment of the show, I do believe,
Oh yeah.
is the what are you listening to this week? And because I haven't heard one for 6 months, I'm kind of excited to see what Al has to say.
Let's
Let's
think of who died.
See,
Joe Schumacher, or what's his name?
I got-
Schumacher,
I
the
got-
director of
yeah, he
Batman Forever.
Oh, yes, he did die.
Kissed by a Rose.
That was
Seal.
what, on Sunday?
Listen to Seal.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Jason.
Lightning crap. No. So, if I'm going to be truthful,
And when aren't you?
there is something I should say because it's probably taken up a little more time recently, and it's related to a recent Facebook post that I made.
Yes.
Which we'll have more. We will have more to
content.
offer on that. We'll have more content on that in the future, because what started as a joke seems to be taking some
Is
flesh.
that true?
However,
This is the most exciting day of my life.
I will tell you,
That's not fair. I don't
it's
know.
getting some legs, boys. But
Uh-oh.
what I will tell you is that I just today, so my wife, who is fantastic, she sends me. I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently on Mondays, Metallica are doing some kind of charity thing on YouTube. I was
Metallica
unaware.
Mondays.
Yeah, because I have, and my attention span for Metallica is pretty low these days, and it's definitely what I listen to is definitely not Black in 2020.
Oh God.
Black
That's
in
so
this
bad.
year.
Oh, so bad. I will
But
play
it-
that for you after. Did you hear it?
I've heard it. Yeah.
So,
Oh, God.
she sends me a link to something that they released yesterday, and it's Metallica playing in Chicago '83, first tour, obviously just mostly Kill 'Em All material, and she wanted me to share it with my son Liam because I think it would educate him and do him some good to watch that. But I was listening through it, and the song that just reached out and bit me, and I don't think we've ever had it on here before. Good Lord, I hope not. Is a Phantom Lord from Kill 'Em All. That song just, I don't know what it's always been one of my faves from the album, but I haven't listened to Kill 'Em All for a really long time. And when I was listening to it today, I was like, that should be your pick because it grabbed me and it made me 10 years old again.
Nice.
And
That's
took
cool.
me back there and said,
Isn't it incredible that you can have a song like that and not hear it for 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah.
As soon as you do, it puts you right
Yeah.
back in the first time,
Yeah.
right back where you
Seamless.
I can
Mhm.
still remember getting my copy of Kill 'Em All with the gray whatever inside label that the original ones had and dropping it on my turntable, and I can still see the needle coming down, and as soon as I hear that, I'm right there again, So that's my pick.
Nice.
Mine kind of relates to his, so I'll go next.
Go ahead.
It's only in title, nothing else.
His is Metal Militia.
That's it.
Oh.
The band.
Yeah.
No, there's an honorable mention. Foxy Shazam is back.
Oh, yeah.
So I do want to mention that they have a new song released. It's finally on Spotify called Burn. I would be lying if I said I haven't been listening to it a bunch, but it's not my what are you listening to this week. So I was telling these guys that I finally got Spotify Premium back. And the cool thing about that is unlike the free version, if you stop listening to a song, the free version kind of shits on you, but the premium version will just keep going and make a radio station based
Right.
off of whatever you're listening to.
Right.
So I've been listening to a lot of Ninja Sex Party, and I had them as a pick. I
think it was the
maybe
last
time
time.
I was on.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah. Danny, don't you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But on that channel, as it was playing, another band popped up called TWRP, which stands for Tupperware Remix Party, but they got a cease and desist from Tupperware, and so they're just TWRP. But-
Wow.
Yeah, but they're kind of
Tupperware actually cared?
yeah, they did.
That's a sign you're making it, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny from Ninja Sex Party has been on a couple of their albums, but also the lead singer of the Proto Men was on this album, which is the song I've been listening to. The album's Together Through Time from Tupperware Remix Party, but the song is called Phantom Racer.
Tupperware.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wait.
when you said Phantom, I was like, wait a second.
TRM.
TWRP.
In Cincinnati.
I
Um,
didn't know Turkey.
but they're like a they're
What
like
album
a,
again? Sorry.
Together Through Time. They're like a electronic band. Think Daft Punk.
Okay.
But this guy's voice that's on this song is more like rock ballady voice. So that song is more. It's their songs
A
are a
little-
lot like video game inspired.
Okay.
So that kind of album has that overall feel like old classic vintage like video game. And this one has a lot of like a speed racer kind of vibe.
Nice.
Here he comes.
What'd you say the song was? Racer X.
Phantom Racer.
Phantom Racer.
Yeah. And
So obviously a little bit of actual inspiration from like Speed Racer.
Yep. Have you ever listened to the Proto Man?
No.
Oh, Jay.
Does that have a little section that goes?
No, they have announcer overdubs
Okay.
throughout it.
Alright.
Nice.
Jay, Proto Men, you gotta listen to them.
I will
They
do
have
that.
they have a Mega Man concept album.
What?
I'm in.
I'm
Yeah.
Mega Man.
So's Noah.
I'm so
Yeah,
Noah,
really.
whether he knows it or not.
He's in the yeah.
I like the Meta Man.
He gave me a Mega Man high five yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
That was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
Lucky.
Yeah. I will go next because I want to save Al's for last because it's got to be
A lot of
good.
build up.
One of
This my pick for the week is something that I actually didn't think I was going
I'll
to
do
ever
that.
say because
I'll do.
after I was excited because at heart I'm still the '90s Green Day fan that I was there. Like
Are we going to discuss the new album at some point on the show?
I don't want to say I was a scene kid because I wasn't, but like I was there at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they've done some wacky things throughout the course of their musical career, but then their new record came out, The Father of All Motherfuckers, and I was just like, no, I'm out. I can't.
Right.
It's so bad. It is so terrible. I can't stand it.
Can't
I
stand
can't
it.
stand it. I seen it. It's terrible.
Seen it.
But I will say that I read a couple articles from Billy Joe, and he explained why they did what they did, and I'm like, okay, Billy, I will give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will go back and honestly try to listen to your record.
Right.
Nice thing is it's super short. It's like 26 minutes long.
Okay.
There's like 10 songs. It's like they wanted to make a quick on your way.
Right.
But they were listening to a lot of like doo-wop and like early rock and roll and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I will go into it with this understanding of this is what you were trying to do. And then I could actually hear what they were trying to accomplish. And I'm like, okay, I don't hate it so bad now. Is it still a Green Day record to me? Maybe not quite so much, but like I don't hate it anymore. Like I spent the last 2 or 3 nights, like when I go to sleep, I usually pick an album, put it on repeat, and listen to it when I fall asleep, and when I wake up, it's still playing. So I'm gonna pick off the Father of All record. The song is "Oh Yeah."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a 1-6-4-5 progression?
Maybe,
Okay.
but I mean, there's a line in it that really resonated with me. He says, "Burning books in the bulletproof backpack," and I was like, "That's all right, cool. I dig that." So, yep, that's what I'm. Green Day. Oh yeah.
And now we're ready.
And dun, dun, dun. I mean, one of our we decided that we were gonna get a show on tonight. I looked real quick, and the first thing I found for today, of course, Ed McMahon passed away in 2009 today. The faithful sidekick of
God.
Johnny Carson.
How's it? Oh.
But yeah, except for the Budweiser drinking guy, that I figured that one wasn't going to go too well.
What about the Budweiser drinking?
Let's talk about that guy.
Well, that's Ed McMahon.
Joel Schumacher. Let's talk about him.
So I decided we'll go with Betty White.
She's dead finally.
No,
Fuck. Sorry.
What?
No, but here's an interesting
Give me that
fact.
gun.
75 years ago, Betty White used to be called Betty Gray until she fought Balrog and then was reborn.
Until she fought a
She fought the
Balrog.
Balrog.
And she was Betty Gray, and then
Betty
she fought
Gray.
a Balrog.
And then reborn Betty White.
I got
That's so
it.
good. Was that a reference to?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
Is
Rings.
that a horror?
It's a horror show.
Yes,
Okay.
it's very scary.
Makes
A lot more scarier than Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just coming down the mountain.
You picked James Addiction?
Yeah, I was gonna say like
James
down the mountain.
That's 16 stones. Come down from bush.
Oh, okay. I don't know how we got there.
Wait a
It
minute.
doesn't matter.
Wait a minute.
I just turn on Siri.
Shush! I'm not talking to you, woman.
I just turn
I-
on Siri and whatever. Yeah, because I don't.
Ed
listen to-
McMahon,
Ed McMahon is right.
Betty White,
Well, Betty White was the better choice, but I asked Mike to pick one, and he picked one, and that was it.
16 stone.
16
One.
stones.
One.
Come down.
All right.
It was just coming down
I was
the
just-
mountain.
I'm just-
and it was-
Call it, Jay.
We've devolved far enough. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
I like
All
it.
right, well,
I
that-
like it.
That effectively puts a cap on this month's, this year's episode.
this half year.
We'll see you again at Christmas. Who knows? However, for those of you who have been with us since day, no matter if you've been here since day one or day 904, that's exactly where we're at.
Wow,
We
really?
do appreciate you being here. It does mean a lot to us that you stopped in. Hopefully, everyone who didn't forget about us, who were on the live feed this evening, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I don't think I have anything else. Stay safe. Wash your hands
Sanitize.
and do the hustle.
Say hey to Texas out there. Is Texas Al still out there?
Is Texas Al still out there? I don't know.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
Where is that guy?
Where is it?
Texas, are you okay, buddy?
Right.
We're actually thinking about you, bud.
We are. We're thinking about
That's a
you.
lie.
Send him prayers.
Yep.
We are. I'm
Okay.
thinking about him right now.
Just thought about it.
Now I'm thinking about
Now
it.
we all think about
Rats. All right. On behalf of the Wednesday Night Whiskey Committee, I am Jay.
I am Jason.
it. I am out.
I am Michael.
Please, for the love of God, drink responsibly.
Can I make it a 91?
That made it in.
Good.
Was it always drink responsibly?
No, it's listen responsibly.
Listen responsibly.
Did I say drink responsibly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did I really?
Yes.
I fucked it up.
Yeah, you
You did.
did. Now we have to do the whole show over.
Um,
All right. Gals, guys.
I was like,
yeah, I totally screwed up.
I was like,
yeah, I couldn't remember how it ended
it's
myself.
been a
It's
minute.
been 904 days.
Well, it's only been 100.
I did say drink
Yeah.
responsibly.
I think it should go like, please, for the love of God,
drink responsibly.
listen.
Stop it.
Responsibly.
Can I let that stand? Can I?
No.
You
So I
have
leave-
to.
No,
Huh?
no, you can't. No, you can't. You absolutely. I will fucking reshoot and edit right now. Let's go. We cannot let that stand. We have ended 68 episodes.
All right, I'll punch it in. I'll redo it.
Are we doing names still, or are we just doing?
No, it would be after that.
All right, then you can just
All right.
punch it in.
Delete it. New track. I can't believe I'm at. We still live?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
We're totally redoing
This
the
is
end.
how we do it, man.
This
This is how we do it.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, shush.
3.
As everyone still makes noise. Please listen responsibly. I mean, I forgot to hit record. All right, shush.
For the love of God.
For the love of God, please listen responsibly.
Bye, boys.
Yeah, you gotta
Bye.
drop. You gotta drop kick that in.
Yeah, sorry.
End stream.